Today we are on the test server to check out the brand new legendary attacker mech Dreadnought. As you can see, this is the first mech in the game to drive around on treads, which is pretty cool. But let's go check out some of this mech's stats. So it maxes out at 32 energy. It is a heavy mech just like the last 5 or 6 additions to the game, so it's continuing that trend. It has around 230,000 health when maxed out, with a max legendary pilot giving it 40% more. I have around 320,000, and a hardened hull mod would give it even more durability. So this is a very good durability for a heavy mech. And additionally, it has 22 kph of speed, which again is really good. So these stats look very solid. Let's go check out the ability description. The ability is called Wipeout. It says it rains down missiles in front of Dreadnought, which damages enemies within the area and applies an EMP effect. If the ability kills an enemy, Dreadnought's speed increases and its ability cooldown is reset. So the ability cooldown at base is 9 seconds, and the EMP duration is 2 seconds. So it is a very short EMP compared to most other ones. Surge is 4 seconds, Zephyr is 3. So it is shorter than those, and the damage that it does maxes out at almost 75,000 damage. If we compare that to Onyx, who has one of the strongest damage dealing abilities in the game, the Quad Rocket, that maxes out at only 70,000. So we can see that this mech's ability is doing a lot of damage. I have a legendary ability damage implant right here. I can do almost 200,000 if I manage to deal back damage with the ability, which you can do because it is missiles, so it has a radius. There's also this mech specific implant, Dreadnought Wipeout area size. It's the only particular one. You can get the cooldown and damage, but this is the main one. It increases the size by 50%, which is very useful, and I'm running Overdriver, so I am using legendary Overdriver damage. But let's hop into some matches and see what this thing can do. Alright, here we are in a match with Dreadnought. As you can see here, my speed is pretty substantial. Again, for a 32 energy heavy mech, 22 kilometers an hour of speed is very good. So here I'm going to show you hopefully my ability. Basically, we fire out missiles in front of the mech, and we deal damage and EMP anyone in front of us in the radius. But it is a close range ability, which makes it a lot harder to hit, especially considering this is a slower mech. I mean, it's not a super slow mech. I'm talking up its speed and all, but, you know, in reality, it's not a dash mech. Like, the reason Surge is so powerful is because it EMPs with a dash, which is absolutely insane. But because this is a slower mech, it does require some, like, kind of camping right here. I'm going to wait for these bots to come and then trap them in my EMP. It's not able to just, you know, dash in and actually get them in their area. I kind of have to wait for them to come to me. I would say, though, this mech is kind of like a cross between a tank and an attacker in some sense, because it does have a damage dealing ability and EMPing ability, but it still has pretty good HP, and because it has EMP, it's going to take less damage from each encounter, because, you know, it's going to be able to eliminate opponents without actually taking any damage from them. Here we stunned both of those enemies there. Our Aegis is blocking me, thank you for that, Aegis. And here we're going to be able to get a huge kill. We refresh our ability instantly, because that is the main perk of this mech. That's what makes it really strong, and that's when it's the strongest. It's when it's able to, basically when you eliminate an enemy with your ability damage, only with your ability damage, you instantly get your ability back, and you get an additional speed boost, which means you can then rush and go and attack even more enemies. And since you have your ability back, which as you can see, this ability is doing maybe 200,000 damage with a back damage hit, you can continuously eliminate enemy after enemy, and you're able to, I mean, I've done an entire squad wipe with this thing before. It is crazy how strong it can be sometimes. Let's hope this guy doesn't have a perfect radius with his nade launchers there. I can sometimes kind of hit around the corner because it does have a radius, but there we weren't able to. I'm going to actually go back over here because we are low. But you can see here we have 13 kills on these bots, and the ability like radius, it does allow you to, again, both deal back damage with the ability damage, which again is extremely high ability damage, which is another thing that makes this mech strong. And because it's a radius, you can also catch like the whole enemy team in it, which makes it even stronger. I think this mech's ability is very solid, and combining that with its great stats, this mech is definitely a contender for some of the, maybe even the meta spots in the game. I don't know if it's quite meta. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see on the live server it against players, because that's always the real test. But right now, I'm liking this mech, and it's looking very strong in my opinion. Alright, here we are in another match. This match I want to try to see if we can get a chain and kill like 3 or even 5 of the enemy mechs in a row by chaining the ability refresh off of them. Again, that's like where this mech is really, really strong. And I've done it before. I think I've even gotten a full team wipe by using my ability several like 3 or 4 times even. Because every kill you just get another ability usage. If you're able to get them all. That's one thing about this mech where it struggles though, is against mods, even one like ML shield, even if you have 1% of one left, it's still going to block that full ability damage, of course, which means that you can't get any like large amount of damage on them with the ability. Like I'm hitting for almost 100,000 here, which is really helpful just like in dealing damage to enemies, but I also am never going to get that ability refresh. And a lot of these bots here, they're a bit weaker bots, like they're not running max mods or anything like that, so it kind of means that against real players, max players at least on the live server, this mech might struggle a lot more. Of course, we're going to have to wait and see, but I'm hoping that it is pretty good. I mean, if I had to make a prediction right now, I'd say this mech is like either A tier or maybe low S tier. We're going to have to wait and see, but if I had to place it on a tier list right now, that's what I'd say. Another thing to consider though, like with new mechs and weapons whenever they come out is, how will they be when bots have them? Because bots basically have every item in the game pretty soon after they release. Not like quite the day of release. Usually it takes like a week or two. But then the bots will have, this mech and whatever new weapons come out. All the new mechs and weapons, the bots do get them pretty quick. So with something like Hemlock or Solus, which it's very annoying to fight against, it's not great because that means the bots are going to have an annoying thing that you have to fight against, which nobody really wants that, right? But on the other hand, something like Salvor is great because it means you're going to get healing in a match, which is exactly what I want. Of course I want to get healed by my bots, like that's great. I mean, Salvor is a good addition, but with this mech, I would say if bots have it, of course it's going to be a little bit annoying just because it is an EMP, but I think overall it's not going to be too bad. It's not something like Hemlock where it dazes you for 7 seconds. It's just a couple seconds. There you go. We just nuked the entire team there. Did like 300,000 total damage. We are at another godlike here. Ooh, I just got hit hard. Gotta be careful. But yeah, bots probably won't be too annoying. I think it won't be too bad. But another thing is the tankers, and I think this might be a problem. Tankers might be able to utilize this mech really well because every kill they get with the ability, they get another ability, and it's a radius ability. Just imagine them in the enemy spawn getting their ability over and over and over again and destroying all the low-level mechs. I think this mech could be a big problem for tankers because it's a high damage dealing ability that can refresh over and over, and it's fast, and it has, decent HP. So if a tanker gets their hands on this mech, it might be, cause some real problems. Alright, here we are actually in a 5v5 deathmatch map. And I wanted to see what this thing could do in 5v5 since this mech is slow, fairly slow. I mean, it's not super slow, and it's not super fast either. But because it has only a close range ability, it's not like it's a Surge where it can dash with dash distance and has a radius of the stun. I guess it does have a radius, but here you go. This is what I was hoping to happen. We just chained 3 kills together using 2 abilities, so we just kept re-stunning the enemies. And I got my ability back because I was able to eliminate one of them with the ability damage. So that's where this mech really becomes like super strong. We gotta watch out here though. The bots are after me. They want to take me out. Here we go. Kill him. Ability refresh. Oh, we almost got this guy. There you go. Another couple kills for my team though. We have 7 kills, unstoppable. And we keep getting these like multi-kills. That's kind of what this mech does. Often I end up kind of sitting, waiting for the perfect moment. Because they do need to lose their mod shields if I'm going to be able to one-shot them, their remaining HP with my ability damage. Even though it is high ability damage, it's not like it can't go through mods, right? So you do kind of have to wait. Where did that brick house go? Oh, he fell down. But it did not look like it on my screen. It looked like he teleported. Here we go. Maybe this guy. There we go. Ability refresh. Push forward. Oh, I didn't even see the Deathwalker. He's going back, but I might be dead here. Oh yeah, here he comes. Can we stun him though? Oh, we might be able to just get him straight up. Here you go. Over the cover. Stun. Finish him off. Nice. Humiliation. The Orion marks are really helping out my team. Good job, guys. But you can see in these closer quarters, we can kind of chain the ability together. I would think though for the other modes, I'm not going to test it in them, but in 2v2 there's not enough enemy like mechs. It's only the 2 enemies. So yes, you could chain it together, but it'd have to be both of them together at once. That could be helpful, but it's going to be less useful because in this I can hit all the enemies, take out one, fire it again, take out another, fire it again, like even like that. it is possible, which is super strong. You saw there I got like a triple kill. We could definitely get a multi-kill or even just a full team wipe with this thing. With just like one of this mech, just because it has the unique, like, it's basically a new feature for a mech to actually refresh its ability because of whatever, you know. No other mech is able to quite do that right now in the game, which is clearly a very strong thing. I'm sure they'll add something else that can do it, but right now it's just this new Dreadnought mech. But in FFA, this thing would be an absolute beast. I'm also not going to test it in there, but I'm sure it would be so strong. Because think about it, you have the HP refresh, right? When you get kills in FFA, your HP goes back up by, you know, 30% or so. And because this thing, every time it gets a kill, it gets its ability back, it would be absolutely insane. It would be it might be the strongest FFA mech. Maybe Nomad or Surge are a little better, but because this thing gets its ability back, it could do some work in FFA. There we go, another ability refresh. I'm so low though. This mech, again, it doesn't have any actual defense. That's one of its biggest downsides, I feel. Because I wish I could play aggressive here, but I can't quite. Although, to be fair, I'm not using mods. I don't have mods unlocked in the test server, because, again, the test server is a bit janky sometimes, or a lot of the time. So, I don't actually have mods. But, you know, if I had mods, maybe I'd have a bit more survivability. But, you know, really, if I had max mods, we'd have to consider the enemies to have max mods, which means, I think this thing gets weaker as you get, like, more into the late game, right? Because when somebody has a max ML mod, they have like 10 layers or whatever, you have to get through all of that before you can get to their HP and actually get the refresh. But I think in lower levels, this thing will be even stronger. Right here, we're at a pretty high SP. I'm at like 9k SP or so. And the mech is strong still, but to be fair, I'm only fighting bots without a ton of ML shields, right? Players always use ML shields. There we go, though. In 5v5, 19 kills. Very, very solid performance from it. Anyways, that was my overview on the brand new Dreadnought mech. Comment down below your thoughts about this mech. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Like the video if you enjoyed it. This was my first test server video. I wanted to check out this new mech and review it for you guys. And subscribe if you want to see more content about any new content in Mech Arena or any other things, any other videos I make. And I really appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end of the video, so thank you for that. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next one.